All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new league I'm casting. This is the Saturday Evening Amateur League, week 3 between Team Claire and Team Mocha. I got told I was casting this about an hour ago, so didn't have that much time to prep, but we're right into it. Both these teams are doing very good in this season. It's only been 2 weeks thus far, but both teams are 3-1, and the bans are coming up pretty quickly here. Notable bands I want to keep an eye on are if Beastmaster gets through, because that is one of Smack's most played and best heroes on Team Claire. And it does get through, so I'm going to be curious to see if Beastmaster gets picked up. It has been banned versus Team Claire every single game. And Silencer's got to get picked up. Okay, so Silencer has been picked a lot. It's been picked 3 games and banned or counterpicked 1 game versus Stangolier. They put it on I Touch Cats, and it's a very strong hero. It's probably the best support right now, like a 55% win rate in higher skill, and a very solid counter initiating hero, very strong laning hero. And Beastmaster does not get picked first. They go up the Dragon Knight. This is likely going to be, well, this can be flexed between either Claire or Pocket, which is their 1 and 2 on Team Claire. So likely going to be flexed between either the mid lane or the safe lane, depending on how the rest of the draft goes. And I'm just making sure everything looks good on the Twitch side. Okay. Talking a little bit more about each of these teams. Team Stangolier likes to go for a more death ball stack. They like heroes like Broodmother, Huskar, Clinks, Luna, those kind of heroes where they like hit a timing and then they start deathballing and pushing down towers. Claire's team is more about like winning laning phase and getting heroes that can win team fights. They're very good in the team fight category. They go heroes like Phoenix, Rubik, Kanka, Enigma, stuff like that to try and dominate those mid game team fights. So it's going to be curious to see which of these two strategies will prevail if these teams decide to stick with their guns and what they've been going with in this league thus far. So the Beastmaster does get banned out second phase, so we're not going to see it this game. And going over the bans, just pointing out some of the more unusual bans. Dazzle has been banned out in most games versus Stangolier because that is played mid by Mocha quite a bit. Furian's picked by their one sword. I think it's Stengo. I'm not quite sure. Like these professional names they have are different from the names that are on Dota Buff, so I'm not exactly sure which player goes to which. But I know that the one for Stangolier plays a lot of Furion, so they banned that out. Dawn gets banned. Another hero that Smack has been playing a lot. And another meta hero, Silencer, getting picked means that it's no longer available to counterpick a Dawn pick, so get that out of the pool to make sure you're not dealing with that kind of counter initiation. And they're gonna go Batrider. This could be on Team Claire. I'm looking at my notes here. They have not picked Batrider thus far this tournament, and I'm not exactly sure where this can go. You generally see Batrider either played as a 3 because they made core Batrider very strong, or you could see it as like as a support. I would expect like Mid or Chen would play it if they wanted to rock it as a support. I don't think they'd pick 2 cores this early in the draft. That seems a little strange. Although they have picked cores They generally pick a core in the with their first pick on Team Claire, but it's 50-50 on whether it's a support or a core for their second pick. So could be a support or a core back. Magnus comes out. That's likely going to be on Razin, who's the 3 for Team Mocha slash Stangolier. And so already Stangolier has a lot of team fight, a lot of counter initiation, very good high ground defense. If the Bat Rider goes in, Magnus can try and counter initiate with a Blink Skewer. And you want to see some kind of melee carry with the Magnus. Heroes that Stanglier's carry plays would be like Phantom Lancer, which has gone through. Sven, Broodmother, both heroes have gone through. And Stanglier's going to go with Ringmaster. It's a lot of magic damage, good laning potential on Team Stanglier thus far. Just tons of counter initiation for Team Mocha. Wyvern gets picked up. So both teams really going heavy into like the team fight aspect. I'd say Stanglier is currently winning in that category.
10 seconds remain. Radiant must choose. Lycan.
And Lycan gets through. Okay, so Lycan is either going to be played as the 3 or the 2. So I still don't know what lane this Dragon Knight is. So I would still be looking at banning out. If you're on Team Mocha slash Stangolier, I would be looking at banning out carries or mids. Probably carries, probably mids, because Claire, between Claire and Pocket, Claire is the much more higher skill player, so you're more worried about Claire having a better pick for the mid lane. Stanglier's gonna follow that philosophy, ban out the Queen of Pain, which is a Claire hero. And Quap has been banned 2 out of 4 games and picked 1 out of 4 games by Team Claire. So they're thinking that this is a 1 DK. And on the opposite side, Claire's team looking at that draft, you see the Phantom Lancer come out. So Phantom Lancer is going to be flash farming with the Magnus, so it's going to be a very quick timing on this PO. There's currently not a lot of heroes that do well versus the Phantom Lancer. Wyvern does okay. Bat Rider gets his Napalm Purge. Lycan doesn't clear illusions. Dragon Knight has a little bit difficulty clearing illusions. I'd be curious to see if this is a red Dragon Knight to try to get a little bit more AoE. Claire's team is going to ban out Storm Spirit. Probably expecting that Mocha has not picked their hero yet. Team Mocha has picked Clinks quite a bit. Actually, yeah, they've picked Clinks in this league. They've picked Marcy. Marcy is Mocha's most played and one of their highest win rate heroes. And Marcy does go pretty well with the Empower as well. So you have 2 threats there if the PL and the Marcy both have Empower. Oh no, Marcy got banned first phase. Yeah, missed that. I'm like glancing over between the game and my notes. I'm trying to I'm trying to give you the deets that I have while also keeping track of the draft. Viper gets banned. So they're probably trying to protect some kind of... That could be trying to protect a last pick. Like maybe Team Claire wants to pick like a Huskar last. Don't want to get Viper like immediate counter picked. And Stengelier is going to keep banning out mid heroes. So both teams expecting that the mids have not been picked yet. And Stengelier / Team Mocha. Dazzle is banned. Marcy's banned. Clinks did get through. Huskar TA. On my notes, I have Huskar and TA. Huskar would give you a lot more early game presence and a good laning phase. I don't know if you can really first pick it or penultimate pick it with some counters still in the game. They'll go with the TA. Yeah, because if you go with like a Huskar, you open yourself up to like a OD counter or like something annoying like an Earthshake, which can burst your hero down. And so you really want to like last pick that Huskar instead of penultimate pick it. Team Clear has about 30 seconds to decide what kind of mid they want to pick if this is a safe lane Dragon Knight. And Underlord. This might be a one Underlord given to Pocket. They generally pick tanky ones for Pocket to, yeah, it's going to be a one Underlord. Yeah, so I noticed this in the Team Clear's strategy. They tend to pick tanky ones like Wraith King, Dragon Knight, Kunkka, like heroes that are like really tanky, hard to bully out of lane. Like they don't have to have like a strong lane presence. I think Pocket is one of the lower skill players on Team Player, so it kind of makes sense that they don't want to give a hero that has like a high skill cap to Pocket because Pocket's gonna be most likely facing Immortals in this league. So Underlord gives them like a nice bit of team fight without having to completely win the lane. On Stangolier, okay, so Shad and Ra is probably Mocha. And Lando Laos is Sword Hoss. Okay. In terms of overall draft, Stangolier did not go the normal, like, super heavy push team that they did. However, they do have a Phantom Lancer plus Empower combo, and that's going to be a very early timing on that PO. Last pick Underlord to try and stop the bleeding, because that's a hero that does a lot of AoE percent damage. Very good versus the Phantom Lancer, especially early game when you need to like shut that hero down. I'm a little bit worried for Team Claire on the side of Dire because they don't have a lot of PL counters, and this player plays a lot of PL. They're very good at it, and they have Magnus to accelerate the farm. Anyway, game has started. We have a smoke up by Dire. They're going to be running into Radiant Jungle. They're actually going to have some good scouting presence as the dogs come in. Underlord's going to drop the root on the ground. Q levels that up first. They're going to get first blood, killing Razin on that Magnus. All right, so very early first blood. Team Radiant not. It seemed like they're a little bit chilling. They didn't smoke up. They kind of like skedaddled over to their side of the jungle. Kind of just hit the dogs. They weren't really positioning well to do a fight if there was a fight. They were just showing underdog vision and got a little burnt from it. Let's do some player introductions. Looks like it's going to be a one like an okay. So I think Smack is normally, yeah, the 3. So it looks like they're swapping lanes, putting Smack in the top lane. So in this game for Team Mocha, or sorry, for Team Claire, it's going to be Smack on the 1 Lycan. Am I reading this right? Stonks? Oh yeah, reroll Stonks. Okay, Stonks on the position of 5. Winter Wyvern supporting Smack there. In the mid lane, it's going to be Claire playing the Dragon Knight, and in the off lane for Dire, it's going to be Pocket playing the 3 Underlord this game, supported by Mitter Chen on the 4 Bat Rider. Support Bat Rider. Let's see how much impact this Bat Rider has. For Team Radiant, we have Laudanus on the 1 Phantom Lancer, supported by Stengo on the Ringmaster. Mid lane, Shadowrun is going to be playing the TA versus that Dragonite, and in the offlane for Radiant, it is Razin on the Magnus, supported by I Touch Cats on the Silencer. In terms of laning phase, Silencer, very strong laning phase, is going into a Wyvern. Wyvern can get bullied and is pretty slow, so if the Wyvern ever gets caught out of position, the Magnus can kind of do a skewer and get that Wyvern into danger. Lycan's a pretty strong, beefy laner, and has regen to kind of like counteract the long-term DPS that Silencer's putting out in the laning phase. So I think that Radiant overall has the higher kill threat, but I think Dire are favored for that lane up there, just because I think it's difficult for the Lycan to get bullied out of that lane. In the mid lane, TA versus DK, I think this is very much player dependent. DK is a nuker, and TA does have those refraction charges to try and prevent the nukes from coming on. As I get last hits up here, we could keep an eye on that. So I think that TA is favored, but I think it's more so dependent on the player's top lane. Dogs are beating up the Silencer, but it doesn't seem like they're in real danger. Bottom lane, their chain is committing, trying to get the kill onto Stango. Will get it. Nice root comes out. That level 1 root saves the day. Midderchen able to get out of there. Landalos not able to get that last hit. And Midderchen will be able to get out of there. Stonks, like I was saying earlier, getting a little bit out of position. Gets very low, but is also able to get out of there. Bat Rider will deny it to the Roshan, so free trip back to base. And the bottom lane. How do I expect this lane to go? Bat Rider, Underlord. I haven't seen a lot of support Bat, so I'm not sure how strong the laning phase is. I think Underlord generally has a good time in lanes. That's probably why they picked the hero. But this is a very highly skilled PL. And Ringmaster is also a lane dominator, so I think that Pocket's going to have their hands full in this lane. Trying to get last hits and trying to beat this PL in terms of CS. Silencer bottom or top is getting very low to the dogs once again. Trying to keep an eye on this mid lane. There's not a ton of fighting early game, just that 1 kill thus far during the laning phase. In terms of mid-game matchups, between Radiant and Dire, I think that PL is getting quite injured down here. Got rooted, actually got unlucky with the W and fell back into the root. But only gets out of there with just a little bit of damage taken. I think it really comes down to how good of a laning phase this PL has, because I don't think that Dire really have good answers for this. Windrunner Wyvern is going to be chased down by the Magnus. Stonks is going to try to deny on the Wolves, but Magnus is going to skewer the Wyvern away, prevent any kind of deny attempt. And that's going to be a pickup, the first for Team Mocha. Check my chat real quick. Let's go to the mid lane. No one's complaining about anything, so we're probably still good. Team Dire does have a lot of push if they come out of the laning phase strong. Lycan, DK, obviously very strong pushers. Underlord can just sit in a lane and keep pushing it out forever. It's a little bit greedier on the side of Radiant, I'd say, between the TA, the PL, and the Mag, but the Mag really empowers, to use a pun. the TA and the PL with that extra damage. And so the TA and the PL will be able to flash farm a lot faster than like a traditional, 3-core draft normally would. So it's not as terrible just because they have that Magnus. Claire is going to use the last of their mana to stun up this TA who is chasing them down. And Claire will just be able to get out of there. Little Trap will scout out this Bat Rider rotation into the mid lane, and Midderchen will go back to lane defeated, unable to get any kind of play on that TA. In terms of the CS game, TA is leading the pack by a substantial bit, as we have a bit of a skirmish top. Arcane Curse comes out onto both Lycan and Wyvern. The Silencer will be running away from these dogs. And really just a little bit of skirmishing damage, both sides getting each other pretty low, but doesn't really have like the huge kill threat heroes. Like your Juggernauts or your Shamans or your Venomancers. Nothing really like that in this game. So it's pretty chill for the most part. 7-minute Wisdom Shrines are coming up. Silencer did grab Radiance. And Bat Rider will be grabbing Dyers, so just 1-for-1s on those Wisdom Shrines. The biggest loser core so far is Underlord. Only 24 CS at 7 minutes, kind of to be expected. The MMR mismatch between these two players is quite high. And Underlord, it's going to be difficult for Underlord to be outlast hitting the PL when there's a Ringmaster in this lane. Bat I don't think has as much lane presence as the Ringmaster. And if Bat's ever doing like these mid rotations like they just attempted, then that's just more time that the Underlord is not able to farm. Bottom lane we have a Silencer rotation, trying to pick off this Bat Rider. The Silencer will be the first to fall, though, shortly followed by the Bat Rider. We have a TPN by Winter Wyvern to try and find some kind of counterplay, but there is none. Radiant will just retreat back to their tower. So rotation by Silencer ends up with his own death. He did not, I don't believe he got the +1 int for that. Died first, right? Yeah, he died first. So he's probably not too happy about that. A little bit of a word miss there from the TA. And I'm trying to keep an eye on rotation. Seems like top and mid are kind of being left to their own devices as bottom lane becomes sort of a hotspot for activity. Wyvern has rotated down here, and the Bat is coming out. The TA is diving, drops the trap onto Dragonite, taking a lot of magic damage from that, but will be able to get out of there. Turning now, got to be careful about those side blades splashing on him. This TA is very strong right now. And once again, just not really, just skirmishing, not really kind of kills happening. Feels pretty conservative from both sides. Honestly, yeah, just looking at the draft, like both sides went with pretty greedy drafts. Underlord, DK, Lycan, like those heroes don't really want to be like looking for team fights, looking for picks necessarily. They're more content to just, play in their lanes, go to jungle, farm up that way. So we're probably in for a slow burner until one of these heroes hits their timing. I'm expecting the TA is going to hit a timing like Desolator Blink, and then we're going to start seeing the TA start rotating, trying to get pickoffs. Lycan did ultimate top, going on the Silencer, gonna dive tower for it. We have a TP rotation by the Ringmaster. RP committed to try and lock this Magnus down, but the minimum distance on the Wheel of Wonder means that Lycan will not get taunted and will be able to run out of there. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, we have Poison DK hitting this tower. They're not going to go on to TA. Poison doing a lot to remove these refraction charges. 3 heroes here, both supporting the DK into trying to bring down this big TA. This would be a huge kill if they're able to get it. Because that Ringmaster TP top cannot come mid, Instead, the silencer has to show up, and they're going to be able to turn this around on the Wyvern. One more right click will be enough. They don't have vision. The Wyvern gets to the high ground. TA very low. They're trying to bully this TA into death. The escape pack comes down at the last second, but it's not enough as the TA Wolf Ball, 3 Dire Heroes, so low HP, able to limp away with that prize kill. Nicely played by Team Clare. In the bottom lane, Chen will be rotating again to potentially make a play on this PL. Underlord does not have any mana, just a 5-stick. So not a lot that hero can do to try and kill this PL. Especially with just a level 5 Batrider trying to soak XP for level 6. And the incursion of the Bat will prompt out a Ringmaster TP who has Wheel of Wonder soon. So I could get to see another team fight down here. PL is able to W away for the time being, not trying to micro any kind of illusions so they know which one is real. And they will be able to bring down Landalos or Laudinus on that PL. Immediate counter initiation. Counterplay by the Wyvern will bring down the Ringmaster, and this TA has TP'd into her death, looks like, as a lot of Dire Heroes have shown up to push this tower, get these kills, and now the Silencer in trouble, trying to run away. Likely will be able to get away. This bird does not have the range or cooldown to pick off the Silencer. But yeah, 2 more kills, or 3 more kills. Huge gold swing going the way of Team Clare there. There's a lot of high value kills, the TA and the PL going down. Which is very good for the side of Dire. Underlord will take the opportunity to shove out wave 2 towers, so Radiant probably have to respond to that. Silencer, I think, yeah, just got 6, so they have global now on the side of Radiant. That's huge for their team play. And in terms of last hits, Lycan has actually caught up with TA, so no longer a massive lead there. Looks like we have a fight. They have found the Invis Silencer in a very quick kill. Dire hanging around this bottom area of the map. Very difficult place to be if you're on the side of Radiant. Meanwhile, Lycan is going to get jumped on by Radiant heroes, but he's able to get the ult off and run away. I'm not sure if Lycan was trying to go in or get out, but they're fighting up here as all of Dire have come in, trying to find a kill. Thus far, nobody has died. One wolf are running down the Ringmaster, trying to get this last hits. Ooh, the dogs will be able to get the Ringmaster. Global comes out, but there's no real spells to counter. Radiant have to be really careful with this Winter's Curse. Wyvern is in the area, looking around. Mag in the back, blinks in on Pocket, tries to bring down the Sunderlord. Winter's Curse will come out onto the TA. Will lock her down, and the Ice Blast will finish him off. PL does get that kill on the Underlord, but that's the only kill they've gotten thus far, and Radiant are running out of heroes in this fight as PL trying to find low heroes to go on. Batrider will find the lasso, bring down that Magnus, and PL is forced to skedaddle out of there. So all in all, like that was a long fight. Lost a little bit of track of who died there. I think it was like a 1 for 5. 1 for 4. The PL never died, but never a huge gold swing going the way of Team Clare. Very well executed team fights are just picking apart this greedy Radiant draft. Not the end of the world for Radiant, though, as they have that PL. I have not seen Magnus empower the PL. It hasn't even leveled it up, so maybe that's not even in the game plan. But PL actually went armlet. Oh, is that for the innate? Bonus damage, increased base damage. That's a very interesting build. DK is going to find the PL, but is not sure which one is real until player presses Q. I will reveal the real one, but PL is able to get away. I want to talk about this armlet idea, but the fights are non-stop as the Wyvern now. It's going to be contesting vision on the high ground. They will try and bring down the Silencer. He is getting out of there, 0 HP. I think Lycan's going to run him down. Lycan will run him down. Meanwhile, Mag is finishing off this Wyvern on the high ground. No real help. Lycan did get another kill down here, I think, with the dogs. Both supports die on the side of Radiant as Dire look for more. They're going to find the Magnus here. Leash him up. As that is a 3 for 1. The Wyvern, the only one on the side of Dire, dying. Dire have this vision on the high ground. They want to farm this PL now. He just barely gets out of range of that flame break, which would have popped him back into range of the Bat's lasso. So very lucky the PL was able to react in time. As Dire are now going to transition this into tower push. Poison DK, Lycan, plus Helm of the Overlord means they have very good tower push, but this TA is just splash damaging this TK or DK for so much. The RP comes in, Global comes out a little bit late. The Wyvern E Cold Embrace comes out to try and save that DK for a little bit longer. Lycan will be the next to fall, as they are able to focus down this TA. So a lot of damage on the side of Radiant now missing. Winter's Curse comes out onto Silencer. It's a bunch of PL illusions hitting him though, so he's not getting damaged that much. And now the fight's turning around as Radiant, off of that nice RP, is able to mop up. They do lose the tier 2 for this, but well, and the TA, but they managed to full team wipe Team Clare. Very nicely done, Team Moca. 1 for 5 plus the tier 2, but that is a huge chunk of gold. And do I have time to talk about this idea? There's so much fighting. Holy moly, so much fighting. Look at these kills, it's non-stop. Anyway, PL has innate, which gives him his damage goes to bonus base damage, which is good for illusions because illusions can't benefit from bonus damage. So Armlet, normally you pick it because it gives a ton of strength. But it does give like plus 35 damage plus base 15 damage, and that all translates into plus 15 base damage for the Phantom Lancer illusion. So quite a bit of early damage. Now normally you go Armlet on heroes that have regen because you need regen to support this item because it's 45 DPS. However, if you're a PL, and you're using it very sparingly, like basically whenever you summon the illusions, I could see it work. Is definitely giving the PL quite a bit of damage in the in this early game. Anyway, Team Dire, Team Clare are going to stick with the game plan. They're going to be shoving up bottom, although they're abandoning the wave now and looking for kills. Pat is going to be running forward, finds the Ringmaster, nice lasso. Has the escape act, holding on to it. Tries to cast it at the very last second, but does not get it. Dire was smoked. Radiant did have vision here, but I wonder how they saw. I think I'm not sure how Dire saw the Ringmaster there, but nice catch by the Batrider. Did my hog controls work? Yeah, okay, so I'm not sure what the vision was, but nice pick by the Batrider. Dire's congregating in the bottom lane. They want to push this tower, but they want to get some kind of pick before they do. They don't want to get RP'd again. They want to have some kind of support kill or core kill or something before they show on their tower. So they're going to be camping their high ground vision here. Little do they know, they are sitting under vision, so Radiant are not going to be falling for that. Kale's going to find a nice triple bounty rune up here on the top lane. 210 gold going to each of his teammates. And the gold is kind of flatlining. Both teams just farming up. Dire does have the tower advantage. They only are missing one, and they're working on their second tier 2 at this time. They're going to start now. It's very hard with this Overlord creep getting your tower to try and fight into this. And I think Radiant are just going to give it up. Yeah, they're not going to try and contest this. Both supports on Team Mocha. We'll just be pushing up mid. Team Claire immediately smokes up. They're going to be running mid, looking for some kind of pick. Silencer will break smoke. He's immediately going to try and run away. The Ringmaster gets found, though. Not quite so lucky. And yeah, Ringmaster will go down. If Dire are fast enough, they will be able to push this tower without that Ringmaster being up. But actually, the creeps are back here, so won't have that opportunity. So after that flurry of action, we have a bit more stagnation. Radiant not wanting to fight unless it's under like good vision. They really are reliant on that like sick RP plus TA hitting a lot of heroes or Phantom Lancer hitting a lot of heroes to be able to win team fights. Dire are congregating top. That's where the Tormentor is. There are TA traps around this area, so Radiant likely have an inkling of what's going on here. This trap's giving them a little bit of vision. They will see this DK down here, though, so they may not be expecting this. And in fact, Dire are not even taking the Tormentor. They're actually just going bottom. Lycan ults in the mid lane, was thinking he could have grabbed this TA, but TA able to just walk away. Had that blink dagger even. Looking at items, Magnus now has that 9-second BKB. That's a pretty early BKB. I'm guessing that's to try and prevent like the pits or getting caught in the periphery of the Winter's Curse. So you can try and get that full combo off with the skewer. TA, Deso, Blink working towards BKB herself. And we might have a fight down here as TA scouts the Underlord. They're actually going to walk into a root. Global comes out though. Magnus will pop BKB. Nice two-man skewer onto the Wyvern in the back. They will be able to bring her down before she's able to get curse off. Mid or Chen will find a TA. Lasso her up, but Escape Act is going to keep her alive. And it's a pretty disaster fight for Team Claire as they've lost 3 thus far. Landola shows up. He's a little bit low. But now it's just Pocket and Smack who are standing. Magnus will blink skewer, isolate Pocket. And this Lycan is in the wrong neighborhood. Needs to run away now, as it is a 4-man wipe for Team Claire. That looks so bad. They were walking uphill into the 2-man route. But Wyvern just got picked off by the mag before she was able to Winter's Curse. And I think that was like the real backbreaker for Team Claire. Not having that sick Winter's Curse counter initiation to bring down this TA or a support or whoever. Meant that Team Mocha was able to win that one. Silencer strong hero. Global Silencers have been pretty good thus far. And it just really prevents any kind of counter initiation. Or like follow-up initiation rather. Whenever one of these dire heroes goes in. It's one of the worst feelings in the world when like you're an initiator, like say this DK here, you blink in, you do your combo, and then the silencer global ults, and your team can't back you up. So now you're just in a terrible position, you're silenced, you can't do anything, your team can't help you. And now the enemy can just isolate you. TA Trap will scout out this Batrider, but nothing comes of it. As we go back to the farming game. If this game does hit late game, I would probably favor, but it's kind of difficult because Dire has a lot of... Uh-oh. My internet? Lag spike. Something happened. What is going on? Are we back? Stream still alive? Okay, I think we had like a little internet hiccup there. Apologies. But we should still be back. I'll see in 2 minutes if the stream died or whatnot, or had to restart it. What I was talking about before is if this game gets into later stages of the game, Dire has a lot of circles they can put on the ground. It's like Winter's Curse, the Underlord stuff. But their heroes are not really great to killing this Phantom Lancer. So if this Phantom Lancer is able to get 6 slotted, then I think it's going to be very difficult. Like, unless he gets isolated or caught, it's going to, like, in just a straight 5v5, I think it's going to be very difficult for Dire to bring down this Phantom Lancer. Like, they have the damage, but they don't have the lockdown for the hero. And they don't have, like, great ways to kill illusions. Like, this Breathe Fire is not going to do much versus illusions later game. Lycan's going to do nothing versus illusions later game. Like, they're really reliant on this Winter's Curse. And, well, Winter's Curse isn't even like a good illusion killer. It's literally just like to kill the PL if they're able to isolate. It's really like this Underlord is the only one who's good to be able to kill illusions. Anyway. More farming, more farming. Radiant are down to their last tier 2. We take a look at their vision real quick. They're kind of hemmed in on the left side of the map. They have good vision right now on ward spots. Meanwhile, Team Dire, they'll have their wards up on the right side of the map. And so kind of a split map right now for zones of control. Continue to look at items. Magnus did grab that Ags, which is Horn Toss, so really playmakery, long team fight, like trying to find pickoffs. He's able to hand deliver supports to the TA. The TA is just going to be able to rip those supports apart. TA, meanwhile, has that 9-second BKB working now towards Daedalus. Pretty standard build. Ringmaster, Silencer, both on Ghost Scepter. Standard support items. And the Phantom Lancer has that Manta Diffusal working towards Heart. Armlet's like the only unique thing we've seen among any of these items on the side of Radiant. On the side of Dire, Lycan went AC after Helm of the Overlord, now working on that BKB. Or saving up the gold. Usually when people save this gold, they're considering whether to buy the item. Because you probably wouldn't save for buyback at this stage of the game. You still have all your tier 2s. Bat Rider, standard items, Blink Force Staff. Dragonite going like a very bruisery initiator. They do have the Bat Rider for initiation, but I think they want a hero that can like get on top of the hero that Bat Rider goes on and try and blow them up really quickly. Orchid, you know, is not really going to be great versus PL with that Manta style. TA has that BKB now. Mag has that BKB now, so the Orchid has fallen off quite a bit, at least for like blowing up heroes. Wyvern has that Blink, and Underlord. Harpoon Crimson Guard, very interesting build by the Underlord. Going for like a brawly frontliner kind of hero. Crimson Guard's pretty good versus the Phantom Lancer solutions, but they do not stop the mana burn, which is a very annoying part of that hero.
Just what I've been waiting for.
Rosh is moving bottom. Seems like Dire positioning near the pit. Radiant already have the smoke out, so they want to try and contest this. And we might have a fight here. Roshan is dying very quickly. I'll keep the HP down here so you can keep an eye on it. But Smoke Break, ooh, Horn Toss just short. DK's gonna blink out of the pit. This mag really wants to blink in. Pops the BKB, but it's just having his blink canceled. Backline, Winner's Curse on these two supports. Silencer cannot global. Roche is just meanwhile getting lower and lower in terms of HP. Neither side committing. Just has that Winner's Curse out thus far. Magnus BKB. Oh shit. Magnus blinks in with the RP. Solo RP. Global Silence comes down. They're able to burst down this Wyvern. Not a huge kill since the Winner's Curse was already gone, but a kill nonetheless. Lycan did pick up that Aegis. He's going to run away with BKB. Has the ult, holding it for now. Doesn't want to commit to this fight. But TA will just be working on this Lycan, trying to bring them down while Dragonite is going after these supports who both have Ghost Scepters. I'm trying to see where the kill opportunities are. Magnus does fall as the Lycan gets low. PL is found isolated. These three Dire Cores are going to be trying to bring down Landalos. Batrider, meanwhile, jumps on the TA mid, but she's able to get away. And PL is able to skedaddle out of there. Bat, no lasso, running after these supports, trying to bring them down. It's just two heroes dead thus far in this long fight. Batrider will finally go down, so 1 for 2 as the Harpoon comes out, but that will not stop TP. Silencer able to get out of there. Alright, so a lot of fighting, a lot of spells used, a lot of BKBs popped, and at the end of the day, it's just 4 heroes killed, so they did get the Aegis. So Team Clare, definitely not favored in that exchange. The gold is pretty equal, but they did lose Aegis after all that. I don't think this accounts for Roche gold. And they did get the Roche, which is like plus like 650 or so. So gold is equal, but they lost that Aegis, so they won't be able to make any kind of play with that. Two Dire Heroes are farming high ground. Nice vision. Magnus will be able to skewer 2. Counter initiate on the Winner's Curse. Gonna bring down the Silencer. Recursion brings down the Ringmaster. Nice double kill by the Wyvern. Very scary here with that recursion. Magnus gets isolated by the DK, tries to RP, but will go down. Disaster fight by Radiant as the TA finds herself all alone, forced to BKB, runs away, and dies. PL, meanwhile, in the back, is now versus 3 heroes, wants to bring down this Dragonite, but W's to the low ground, so unable to continue chasing. They're trying to use this Firefly damage to damage the PL illusions, but here comes the problem: is you don't know which one's real. Like, you really need the DK Q, which he's mana burnt, to figure out which one is real. They do eventually figure out which one is. They do eventually kill all the PL illusions, so by process of elimination they bring down the hero. But that was pretty scrappy. PL doing 11,000 damage in that fight, and that might be a sign of things to come once this PL gets some more items. I think this hero is not going to be killable after a certain point. Anyway, I still have it on last is denied. Let's go to net worth. Probably a better indicator of what's going on. Lycan is your top dog in terms of net worth. Has that BKB afterwards, working towards, I'm assuming, Nullifier. Yep, just bought that Nullifier, flying it out now. Phantom Lancer is the next in net worth, as we actually have Magnus find a Lycan. Lycan will just BKB ult, turn around. Magnus is forced to skewer away. Still has that BKB, but that's not going to help you versus the Lycan. Uses the RP, last second BKB, to try and stop the Splinter Blast from killing. I'm not sure if that was a Splinter Blast or, yeah, it must have been a Splinter Blast, 4.5 second cooldown. To try and keep that Splinter Blast from killing, but ends up losing his life and BKB. Ouch. And RP. All for, I guess it consumed Lycan's resources too. So Lycan likely doesn't want to push without those. It's pretty difficult versus this PL. And yeah, will Dire push off the death, BKB, and RP of this Magnus? I They got double catapult wave. DK ult is used. Claire is going to blink onto the bottom tower, start working on it. Doing quite a bit of damage before the fort comes out. TA is showing top lane, so they know that this TA is not here to try and fight this. PL is actually going to go in. Global comes out to try and protect this PL, with the nice Will of Wonder actually keeping the Underlord and Dragon Knight locked in position. But they just kind of like the dams. They really need the TA to come in to help out the PL, who now gets Outrider lassoed, pulled back into the team, stunned forever. What was that second stun? I think it was DK stun off that, so that PL was stunned for like 8 seconds there. Instantly buys back, but they do lose their range racks. And Dire seems like they're happy with what they got. Alright. So Dire retreat off of the buyback of Phantom Lancer. Batrider actually almost dies to the Tormentor, able to get out of there though. And will get a shard for their trouble. Radiant's Batrider, interesting. Does Radiance proc sticky Nate Chomp charges? It's from his attacks and abilities. I don't think so. Is it a... I wonder if it's literally just for the illusion kill. That is a very unique item. I mean, it's multifaceted, this game. Like, it does burn off refraction charges. It does deal damage to the illusions. It gives the illusion the mischance. It damages the illusions. It gives the TA mischance. It gives you farming ability. It's just not something you generally see on a support Batrider. But the idea might be that since Pocket is not... Actually, how many last hits does Pocket have? Last hits. His Pocket's got 272. I was going to say, the idea might be that since Pocket is not going to be like hyper farming, there's creeps on the map for Batrider to start farming, especially since they've had like a significant advantage this game for like a long period of time, that you're allowed to go Radiance to try and farm up the map. But unusual build. I'd be curious to see what the reasoning is behind this Radiance build. Like, for all I know, it's a core support that. Like, I don't really see this hero played that much. Last patch, the Kira was very low win rate. We didn't see a lot of it. Got some piss commentary in the chat. Team Claire is ready. Team Mocha is ready. And we are off. So to recap, Dire pushed base, took a range rocks, forced the PL buyback, and got a Tormentor. And now they're probably waiting just for cooldowns. They have all their ultimates. And they're likely just going to go right back in. Mag is going to get jumped by the DK. As my internet continues to spaz out. We have an electrical storm nearby me, so that might be what causing this. I apologize if there's issues with the stream. Oh boy. We're back. I think we're back. This might be a little glitchy stream. Just because of the electrical storm near me. Come on, baby. Alright, while I have you, they took melee racks bottom. We have a initiation onto bat, counter initiation by the RP onto the BKB Lycan, but there's no follow-up. Global is basically not used for anything, as the Lycan is now going to run into this backline and try and pick up these heroes. TA is isolating Wyvern, trying to bring down the support. We'll follow her for the time being. as she just gets isolated, left all alone, and will be brought down. She's the first kill to go, but meanwhile, Claire gets brought down by this Phantom Lancer. TA buyback. Claire has no buyback, and Dire are going to retreat off of that. So pretty scuffed fight. Favoring Dire because of that TA buyback. We have a further fight as looks like Mag has found some heroes. Chen getting very low. So Wyvern is going to find refuge up on this high ground here. Little does she know she's under vision, so she's now just stuck, but her team's still nearby. They're gonna... Lycan's gonna try and go on this TA, but the Wyvern will go down nonetheless. Lycan attempts to TP out. Will get Yules at the very last millisecond. Whose Yules was that? Is that Silencer? Nice Silencer Yules there to cancel that TP. 3 heroes dead on the side of Dire. So they were able to get some kills off of that TA buyback. And only losing the range rack shot. They lost quite a bit of damage or health on their melee racks, which is regenning, plus the tower. But Radiant are hoping that Roche is there and it spawns in front of their faces. How lucky is that? Between the TA's negative armor and the Phantom Lancer, this is going to be a very quick Roshan. They will put it on the TA and leave the banner in the pit, as one does. And I'm surprised they're not pushing off that. Phantom Lancer is working towards, looks like Abyssal Blade. Not sure what item you swap out for that. Maybe the Power Treads? Or the Armlet? It's probably the Armlet, actually. The Armlet, like, you have the Armlet Heart combo that's so strong because you just leave it on permanently. It's such a slot efficient item, but there are better items than an Armlet, so I'm curious to see which one he swaps out for that. Let's do another quick item check as the PO might get caught up here. We'll keep an eye on this. Mag's items have not changed. Working towards that refresher. TA has that Aegis now. 22 charges on Deathslayer. Has that Daedalus. And we have a smoke play by Radiant as they run up north. Ringmaster, Silencer still has standard support items. And the Phantom Lancer has that heart, has Daedalus, has Manta Style. He's starting to pop off a little bit. Meanwhile, Radiant are going to find Lycan. Nice blink dodge by Smack. Gets out of the RP. Very well done. Global will come out a little late, I feel, as Dire have now powered up and they're hitting these heroes. Peel on the side trying to do some damage. He's going to be able to run away there. Like, is that it? Is that just those 2 kills? Oh no, the Winter's Curse on the side is going to find the Phantom Lancer. Let's see if Phantom Lancer can get out of there. They're going to be isolating the illusion. Ooh, nice play by the PL. Gets out of there. Is dusted though, so they see the invis on the dust. He is hard. They have him in the root. That's going to be a die back to Phantom Lancer. I think that fight comes down to sick reaction time on the Lycan. Oh, well, he didn't have Blink. How the hell did he swap? Was the DK? I think it was the DK. No, it was the Lycan. It was Lycan farming here. He blinked away. Like, how did he blink there? I'd have to watch the replay to see. But sick dodge by the Lycan to get out of that RP range as the Silencer is going to stand a little bit too far forward. Or not Silencer, that's the TA. Uh-oh. TA gets a little bit too far forward. Dies with Aegis. That's going to be the game. Both their cores are dead. No buyback. And okay. A lot happened there in those last 60 seconds. So as I said, the fight before this, like, it was I think it was the Lycan. I'm like 99% sure it was the Lycan. Blinked out of there, got away from the RP, and then the global just came in a little bit late. Dire was able to power up with like their ultimates and their BKBs. As I have to join the lobby real quick in case the game starts. But just looking at the scoreboard real quick for that game. Any standouts in terms of kills? You know, Lycan, very strong performance on that hero. They were able to kill the peel at the end of the day. It really just came down to killing these squishy supports and like not getting affected by the RP. And then afterwards, finding and isolating the Phantom Lancer. Phantom Lancer is just not able to do enough damage quickly enough. Like these are two very strong supports. The problem is like these three heroes are so tanky on the side of Dire, the Lycan, Dragon Knight, Underlord, that their damage doesn't really like. Well, their disable isn't long enough to kill them, and their damage isn't enough to kill them. So they don't have like good ways to pick off these heroes. So these heroes are just able to find the supports and bring them down. Like during the fights, like a very scrappy fights, heroes like prioritizing supports, prioritizing, you know, the heroes that can be killed and bursted, and just leaving the heroes that can't be bursted alone to the end of the fight. Yeah, I think we're going straight into game two. They're setting up the priority right now. So normally I'd put in a loading screen for game two, but I think we're good to go. Yeah, all right, we're just going straight into game two. I haven't experienced that before. Very efficient. Let's get some water while we wait. So I remember a little bit of the bans from game one. I'll try to remember if we have some changes with the bans.
10 seconds. 5 seconds.
As chat is good, checking Twitch chat. We are good on that end. Checking the Discord real quick. And we are good on that front. All right.
5 seconds remain.
Marcy was banned first phase last game, so that does not change. Curious to see if either team respect banned something that was played that game. I feel like the Phantom Lancer, like I think that the execution by Team Clare made it so they were able to deal with the Phantom Lancer, but like I feel like if that game went long enough that the Phantom Lancer would just be unkillable. I guess like he wasn't really doing enough damage to kill those really tanky cores on Team Clare. So it may just be a draft thing. But they may want to get rid of that out of the pool, you know, just in case they don't want to have to go three tanky heroes once again.
10 seconds remain.
I don't remember Lesh being banned. I think that's new. Lesh is one of Claire's top played heroes. Claire played it in game one of the first series of this league. Lycan will get banned, so Stanglier doesn't want to have to deal with the timing of that one Lycan. You know, you kind of need like specific lockdown heroes to deal with a Lycan. That or you just have like an ultra hard carry that doesn't care and can just man up to the Lycan. Beastmaster does get banned out this time around, this time by Stangolier. But I think Dazzle was also banned last game. So I'm not. I think so. Lycan is the only hero that gets banned out that was in the prior series. Claire's not going to waste any time. Or Team Claire's not going to waste any time. They'll pick up the Kunkka. This is likely going to be a pocket Kunkka, either in the 1 or the 3 role. Similar to Underlord, like a very strong laner, very tanky hero, hard to kill, contributes to fights without getting bursted. And that Underlord did quite a bit in that game one. So good showing by Pocket that game. Nature's Prophet does get through this game, and it will get snap picked up by Stangler. This is more than likely going to be on their position one. To play Vanomancer last game. It's Laudanos. I do not know how to say his name. I think it's Laudanus. But Furion is their most played of the last 6 months, high win rate on it. They've picked NP in 0 games, and it has been banned against them. So this is like a new hero for them for this league. On this Furion, and it goes well with like the early push kind of draft that they wanted. Oh yeah, that's one thing I did mention this game one. Stangler, they generally go with like heavy push teams, but they didn't do that game one. They went with like the TA, the PL, the mag, like definitely more core centric and farming up items on cores. So it's not not their usual gig. This time around, they're going to open up with Venomancer Furion, which is absolutely push and Death Ball. So I'd be looking at like banning out Clinks, whatever heroes. Actually, no, not. Would it be Clinks? I'm looking at like the heroes they play. This is likely going to be. I don't have Veno on the list. Their one also plays Veno, so this could be like a support or a mid Furion. I'm not like. I'm expecting this to be a one Furion, but it could be flexed. I don't see Veno on any of their other players. It's usually played as a support, but you can flex it into other roles depending on the matchups. Team Claire, after seeing that Venomancer will pick up Oracle, that's going to be a mid or Chen Oracle, I would expect. I don't think Claire plays at mid. Or it could be a reroll, actually. It could be a reroll 5. Stonks. And Claire Hoodwink mid. Okay. So a lot less meat so far on Team Claire. So very different draft compared to the last game. Less catch. They don't have that Pat Rider. They don't have that Underlord, but they have the Kunkka to try and supplant that lack of catch. Stingolier, they've picked Mars in game 1 and game 4 of this league in terms of their overall games. And it's likely going to be on Razin, their 3. Gives them a lot of team fight that they were lacking. Followed up by the Clockwork. I think this is going to be an I Touch Cat's Clockwork on the position 4. So supporting the Mars. Mars clock. Well, they could swap it up actually. You generally don't want clock with a melee hero.
5 seconds.
Just because it's kind of hard for the melee hero to get into the expanded armature and support the clock whenever he's hitting a hero. You generally want like a ranged hero to try and do damage while the clock keeps them in the cogs and pushes them around. So this clock could be swapped into the like the 5 position, even though the player usually plays 4. Curious to see where this clock goes. Team Claire, you see 2 jumpy boys with the Mars and the clock. You see good initiation. You see good push. You have an answer for the Venomancer thus far. A lot of catch for the hoodwink. A lot of catch. Those are just two anti-hoodwink heroes right there. And you need to pick a support or a mid. So likely the support. If this is a 5 Oracle, you could see Rubik. They're going to go with the Queen of Pain. So Claire has a lot of games on Hoodwink. Has been playing it recently. Plays it mid. So I would expect this to be like a mid Hoodwink, but the Queen of Pain is not a great support. So mid or Chen generally picks like 4 heroes in the 4 position. So this could very easily be a 4 Queen of Pain, even though they don't have a lot of games on it in the last 6 months. Very variable draft. Team Claire thinks they don't see the enemy mid, so they ban out the Storm Spirit. Just another jump hero that can isolate the Queen of Pain or the Hoodwink. Just bring them down really quickly. And Stangler are going to be banning out Lifestealer. Huh. So they're expecting this to be probably like a support Kunkka. And they're banning out ones. Like you look at Claire's team and you think, yeah, they don't have a 1. Last game, Pocket did play the 3 position. So if they're doing it again this game, they put Pocket on the Kunkka in the 3 position. They are looking for a 1. And I have not scouted out what Smack plays in the 1 position, so I'm a little bit lost as to what they're going to pick. I assume that he plays Lifestealer and Juggernaut. Those are 2, just BKB, free BKB heroes that can get out of the arena really quickly. And they also just have like really good anti-magic damage to try and deal with the Venomancer, because Stangolier is severely lacking damage right now. The only hero on their team that does any kind of damage is like Venomancer, but you only really like do a ton of damage on that hero if you're core. Last pick, Windrunner. All right, so there's 3 Claire heroes in there: Hoodwink, Queen of Pain, and Windrunner. So I have no idea who's going where on the side of Team Claire. I think it's Pocket Kunkka and reroll / Stonks Oracle, but that's that's the limit of what I know. And I'm sure Stangolier is also confused as to what's going where. They're just gonna pick an Ember Spirit. Probably mid. Hopefully mid. Chandra. I think Chandra's moca. Okay, mid Windrunner. Core Queen of Pain. Support Hoodwink. Core Kunkka. Support Oracle. I don't know if they're just going to swap lanes again, so I'm not going to predict what the lanes are. But very kitey, very, very, very kitey team on Team Claire. Like Windrunner, Queen of Pain, Hoodwink, and then you have the Oracle to support anybody who gets jumped on. Meanwhile, Stangolier, they have Jump Boys with Clockwork Mars. They have Ember, who's able to root up or chain up kitey heroes. Veno is not going to have a fun time this game. They basically picked 4 heroes that counter Venomancer. Venomancer likes heroes that are like big, slow frontliners. Does that percent damage, HP reduction to them. And Venom also likes like squishy, non-escape heroes. But Team Claire has Oracle, which purges most of Veno's stuff, and 3 escape heroes, and a Kunkka. So terrible, terrible Veno game. And it really comes down to if Stangolier is going to be able to isolate these heroes on Team Claire. Like, if I was playing into Team Claire this game, I would be molding. Just so much evasion, and you have the Mars, you have the Clockwork, but I don't think that's going to be enough to bring these heroes down. They're going to need items, they're going to need hexes, they're going to need Bloodthorns. They're going to need a lot. And it's really just going to come down to team fight execution, I feel. terms of who's gonna win this draft wise, because Radiant really reliant on just kiting, 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 kiting. Dire, meanwhile, very reliant on jumping, 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 locking down, locking down, locking down. And so it just, the fights are going to come down to whether Dire can lock down these heroes, these Radiant heroes, and whether Radiant can get away from the lockdown of Dire's heroes. Anyway, that's enough repeating myself. Radiant and Dire are going to be invading the opposite jungles. So it doesn't look like we're going to have a rune fight this time around. A lot of this is the Furion, like I expected. So I'm expecting him to be in the safe lane, Razin in the off lane, and Mocha in the mid lane. Venomancer. Traditionally, you would put the melee ranged pairings together. So you'd put the Venomancer with the Mars together, and then the Clockwork with the Furion. And seems like that's where these heroes are going. Clock is headed north, Ven is headed south. And in terms of Radiant's draft, just 4 ranged heroes plus a Kunkka. That's all you need. These boats are going to have to be so on point. Well, I guess no, because Dire doesn't have any damage, so they don't need the boats to be on point. So you're not really relying on that roam to save heroes. Like if Dire had any kind of burst hero, like a Leshrac or a Quap or hell even Lion, I think this game goes so much easier for Dire, but they lack damage so hard. They need they need hexes, and they need Dacons on the side of Team Dire. Or they need to stomp all of the lanes. But yeah, anyway. Laning phase. Let's introduce the players. In the top lane, we have Laudendus on the 1 Furion, supported by Stango on the Clockwork, who's going to cog up this mid Chen. In the cogs, we'll be able to get out of there. Yeah, they'll be facing off against Mid Chen Hoodwink for supporting Smackdrix on the 3 Queen of Pain. In the mid lane, we have Mocha, Shanra on the Ember Spirit facing off against Clare and the Windrunner. And in the bottom lane, we have I Touch Cats on the Venomancer, who is supporting Razin on that Mars, getting pretty low to this Oracle, level 2. Who is being played by Stonks this game, and Stonks will be supporting Pocket on that position 1 Kunkka, so we did swap lanes this time around. So, good thing to note for any teams fighting against Team Clare is they can and will swap up their lanes depending on the game. Lane expectations. Clock and Furion, very scary duo. Both those heroes do a lot of damage, a lot of lockdown. It's going to be difficult to pin this queen down, as Kunkka gets very low bottom. It will be able to bring down this Kunkka. Looks like Venomancer. Probably like a spear into backwards into a tree, as Clock is now getting very low. We have a fight up top. Clock is just going to suicide onto the Queen of Pain. And these 2 ranged heroes are going to be doing a lot of damage to the Furion, who's able to back out of there. Are you going to show me the Kunkka dying? Yeah, so I think it was just like a skirmish, and Kunkka got isolated by the torrent. I'm surprised that hero went down. Kunkka's a very notoriously difficult hero to kill in lane. Anyway, top lane. If the Clock and the Furion are able to get onto the Hoodwink, I think that Hoodwink is a dead hero. They just have a lot of damage. You'd want to see more nukes coming out from these heroes. Furion doesn't do that much nuke damage. And it's kind of hard because Hoodwink has an innate that causes attacks to redirect to trees. And so if you sprout the Hoodwink, you're giving her trees to block attacks onto. And that's going to be, it's kind of an anti-synergy. But if the Clock gets there and the Clock kills all the trees, not going to have any kind of good way to use that innate. Furion gets a little bit out of position, is forced to TP back to base. will heal up, and I expect return back to lane. I'm curious to see if this Furion rotates that much, if they're a rotating Furion or a farming Furion. But yeah, I'd say that Radiant, or I'd say both lanes have very good kill potential. Really depends on if they can get on top of this Hoodwink and bring them down. Which is all dependent on the skill of the Clockwork player. Mid lane, Windrunner versus Ember Spirit. I think Ember usually wins that. Ember has a lot of tools to deal with the Windrunner. I think W goes through evasion, I'm pretty sure. And you can obviously dodge power shot with your W or your E. Your E gives you the magic resist, the magic barrier. As this Nature's Prophet once again getting very low. A lot of nuke damage between these two offlaners. Yeah, this is probably Radiant favored on the offlane. Just so much nuke damage between the Queen of Pain and the Hoodwink. Back to the mid lane. I think that Ember is like technically favored, but Claire plays a lot of Windrunner. It's one of their best heroes. And it's a very annoying hero to lane against. In the bottom lane, Kunkka Oracle, not a ton of kill potential unless the Oracle like is absolutely popping off and doing a ton of damage. Veno doesn't have a lot of regen, did go that urn. So you are able to do quite a bit of damage to the Veno if the Veno is ever caught out of position. On Mars Veno, very scary lane. But it's mitigated due to the fact that there is an Oracle in this lane and able to purge off the Venomancer stuff with Fortune's End. I have a rotation by the Venomancer. I think Radiant feel this out. Venomancer's running mid to go to the bottom rune. It will not appear. I'm honestly surprised that Claire came down here. Because they have the Oracle. Nice kill, nice power shot. We'll get that Venomancer kill, but Claire will die for it. Ember picking up that big mid laner kill. Oracle does have Prognosticate, and so I can't tell if they're pinging it. Like, I don't know if it shows up in the caster chat if they are pinging it, but Radiant can ping that tooltip on Oracle and see where the rune is. So I'm not sure why Windrunner was going down there when, you know, they could have guessed that it was going to be an Invis top, or they knew that was going to be Invis top. Or they have the ability to know that was an Invis top. Anyway, Mars gets a little bit low, but will spear and run away. Venomancer's actually going to turn around and get the kill, as the Oracle did use, or didn't have mana for Fortune's End. So will not have any way to purge off the Gale, the Poison, the Urn. So much to be able to burn. 7 minute comes up. The Furion will actually be able to get the Wisdom Shrine. They're going to hunt for him, but he's long gone. He's farming the wave. And yeah, the Venomancer will be able to pick up Dire side Wisdom Shrine. So both Wisdom Shrines going to Dire at the 7 minute mark. I highly expect this Radiant offlane to go for kills as they get levels. Just their nukes come online so hard. Between like the, what's it called? Sharpshooter? Yeah, between the Sharp Shot and the Quap Bolt, it's going to be able to do a lot of burst damage to individual targets. We have heroes that are very low, so I'm like trying to keep an eye on the mini map and seeing where kills are being attempted. Bottom lane we have a X-Torrent top. There's not much happening. Hoodwink just uses the last of her mana. Actually, they're gonna get a turnaround kill. Hoodwink trying to go for that Nature's Prophet. We'll just get cogged up by the Clockwork and brought down. No mana for any of her spells. Furion's actually getting very low top. Looks like Claire has rotated, trying to get that kill. Will be a counter TP by Venomancer though, to try and bring down Claire. Claire will bring down Clockwork, but will lose his life, as the Venomancer ult is undodgeable. Will fly out long distance, slow this Queen of Pain in the wave. The Venomancer is just going to walk him down. At the end of that, the clock dies, but they lose 2 for it, 2 cores for it, which is massive. Nice rotation by the Venomancer there. Gets those 2 kills. Huge gold swing. Or 3 kills, actually, if you count the Hoodwink. So a little bit of a dire early game advantage. As the Venomancer has rotated bottom, I expect that the Venomancer is going to be the one dictating where all the plays are made. Although top, we have ultimate on Quap. They decide not to use it. 600 HP, it's a 350 pure damage nuke its level. I think if they land next combo, they will be able to get that kill. But Dire has to be very careful now. With 6 on Queen of Pain and what's soon to be 6 on the Hoodwink, as they're just gonna cast spells on this Fury and we'll bring them down. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Venomancer did pick up an Oracle kill once again. Looks like they did a little bit of diving, got a little killing out of it. Top lane, they're gonna continue chasing. Hoodwink did get that 6, and they're just gonna abuse the fact and get a double kill on that Queen of Pain. Ember is coming up though, followed by the Windrunner, who's a little bit slower, has that DD though. And Ember is gonna find the Queen of Pain, do a lot of damage. Ember's gonna commit a little bit of burst damage. Nice bushwhack by the Hoodwink. Ember's gonna find himself in the middle of 4 heroes, including a DD Windrunner. And that's gonna cost him his life. We have an arena bottom as they go on the Kunkka. Boat comes out at the very last second, but will not be enough to save him. As Radiant have rotated over to try and, I guess, try and save their Kunkka, but it's a little bit too late now. Mara's getting very low. One more power shot would, I don't think would be enough actually. She did not go kill shot on that Windrunner. Meanwhile, top lane, Ember's here. Ember wants this Oracle. He's gonna run down the hero. Hook shot onto, I think, the Venomancer there. Nice chains there. We'll chain up the Quap. Urn comes out. That will secure the kill. And yeah, 4 Dire's hero. 4 Dire heroes top will bring down the Queen of Pain. Radiant left holding the bag. Bottom lane with nothing down there to do. So both sides doing a lot of rotations early, trying to get the early game advantages to be able to expand upon their leads. Radiant have a very high kill potential between these 3 heroes right there. The Queen of Pain, the Oracle, and the Hoodwink. Just so much burst damage between these 3 that you're able to essentially just pick off heroes at will if you're able to land that bushwhack. Clockwork is nearby. They want to kill this Furion. The Clock and the Hoodwink, I think, are going to run into each other. But Clock does not want to initiate. Hoodwink or Bushwhack comes out. They will throw everything. The Clock will get spells off before staying alive, actually. Queen of Pain doesn't want to commit the ult just yet. Looking for more heroes. We'll finally get 2-man after the Clock dies. Queen of Pain, though, may cost her his life as she will go down. As a 1 for 2, the Hoodwink just barely able to get out of there at the last second. Clare choosing not to show up to that fight. I don't know if TP was cooling down or not. As well as the Kunkka. Bottom lane, they are going to commit Venomancer spells onto Pocket, but the Oracle is here, will make him magic immune and purge all that stuff off. And we might have a rotation, or a counter rotation here, as Hoodwink wants this Venomancer, throwing out spells. The Queen of Pain is down here now. 4 Radiant heroes, 5 Radiant heroes. The Windrunner shows up the last second. A bit of a split up fight. Radiant's focusing down this Venomancer, will bring them down. Amber's here, wants this Windrunner. Clock will hook shot in, but the Windrunner is magic immune with help from that Oracle. And they're going to continue. They want this Ember Spirit, who does get Shadow Striked, Shackle Shot, Bushwhack onto nothing. This for the bad manner. Fury will TP in though after the Ember dies. Pick up a kill on the Oracle. And the huge ultimate almost kills the Kunkka. Will bring down the Hoodwink. And now Mars is in with the Arena. What is going on? Just heroes funneling in. As the Venomancer respawns, TP's in. Kunkka almost died. I think he dropped down to like less than 50 HP off of that ultimate. That could have been a wipe there, but 4 for 3. As it started down here and ended up up here. Very long, probably like a minute and a half long fight.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Checking my Twitch chat real quick, just making sure nothing's broken.
Radiant's bottom tower is in danger. Radiant's bottom tower.
Alright, everything looks good. Alright, so Radiant are position top. Kunkka did run all the way home. Did not want to use that TP. And so is now just regenning up. As Radiant want to probably trade for towers. Venomancer is bottom, pushing this bottom tower out. There's a lot of dire heroes down here. Which I'm not sure if Radiant is aware of, but they're going to go top, go for the counter trade. Or rather just the trade for the tower. And those will be the first tier 1 towers falling in this game.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. There is little hope for Dire's middle tower.
Should probably put on net worth. Oh, we have a hookshot mid. They're going to find Claire in the mid lane. Hookshot followed up by Arena. She's actually surrounded by a lot of stuff. But the Oracle comes in the last second with the false promise. It's going to keep her alive for quite a while. But might be a little too late as the Queen of Pain comes in with the Scream, lowers these dire heroes, but doesn't bring them within kill threshold as 2 heroes dead on the side of Radiant thus far. Pocket comes in. Rum pops pretty early. And we'll be able to get out of there. Dire not interested in getting any more. They will, I expect, push out this tower. Ooh, Sharpshooter on the side by mid or trend, trying to go for that Venomancer, but Venomancer dodges it. I remember when they made that change. I used to spam Hoodwink when the hero came out. They made it so Sharpshooter you could hear it during, like through fog. So you can't get those kills these days. Or it's a lot harder to get those kills. Later Chen, boom, on the Clockwork Knight shot. They end up not taking the tower. Dire backs off, a little low on resources and HP. They don't want to stick around for too long. Oh, we got some chatters. Hello, Munch. Hello, Doughboy. We're just being quiet. Yeah, you guys are. Might stream tonight. That's all fine and dandy, though. Mid lane, we have an attempted Blink Spear by Razin. Similar to what he was doing last game with the Magnus. But Claire's going to walk uphill into a Clockwork. And they'll just bring Claire down. Furion actually TP's in, wants these supports. Venomancer ult, there's no Oracle W to try and stop that. 3 seconds left on the False Promise. And that's going to be a dead Oracle and Windrunner. Windrunner just running high ground, no vision, balls to the wall. Basically, dream moment for a Clockwork there. You don't have to do anything, you just press W. Dire are hungry for more. They're going to keep pushing. And expect set up offensive vision down here. As Claire respawns on that Windrunner, TP's in. Bushwhack comes out onto the Ember Spirit. But nice Blink Arena. Misses on the Spear though, so Claire's just going to stand ground in the arena. They do get the Hoodwink off of this. Instant purge there. Keep Claire top. But that's arena down, so Dire likely can't hang around that much longer. Or they don't probably don't want to hang around because that's a big part of the team fight and ability to lock down heroes. They have to lock down these annoying heroes, these annoying windrunners and hoodwinks and Queen of Pains in order to be able to kill them. Let's do a quick item check. So, Queen of Pain's been farming in the jungle. No boots, double null talisman, full Mjolnir, working towards that BKB as we have a blink hook shot, blink smith spear. Everything's missing on the side. There's just run away at that point. You use so much, just run away. Oh man, so Mars blink Yules but missed the spear, and Clock missed that hook shot because of the Yules. Unable to jump on this Claire. I don't think they're going to get the Claire anyway, just because they had false promise, but ballsy play without that arena trying to force a fight. Where was I? Queen of Pain, double null, Mjolnir, Hoodwink, working towards Atos, pretty standard. Bottom lane, Queen of Pain gets rid of by the Ember Spirit. They are flanking on the Venomancer, so this is going to be a very dead Queen of Pain. They predict the blink, and we'll just be able to bring her down. They are TPing in the Windrunner. Venomancer is isolated. Claire is also going to get isolated in the arena. Oracle gets vision, I think with the Sentry or the Ward, not sure how, but gets vision, be able to use that false promise, bring them down with all for naught as the whole team is dead and now Kunkka is all alone. Working towards his Radiance. Oh no, 100 gold away from Radiance. You're gonna lose some gold here, buddy. His pocket's just gonna run to the creeps, try and get a deny off. But the God's Rebuke will finalize that. How much you lose? Yeah, you didn't lose that much. It's like 150. Alright, so 5-man team, right? As you do. 3,500 gold swing, 5,100 XP swing, going the way of Dire. Team Mocha starting to pick up a bit of momentum here. Finding their damage, getting, I guess the heroes on Radiant are squishy enough to where you don't really need that much damage to bring them down. Like Queen of Pain, until she gets tanky items, she's going to be a little squish. Hoodwink is always squished, no matter the stage of the game. And the Windrunner has tank items and is going BKB, but at this point, you have Arena, you can keep her locked down long enough to be able to do enough damage over time to bring her down. Speaking of Windrunner, has a Maelstrom, Dreads working towards that BKB Oracle, working towards that Force Staff. 2 Dire heroes in the mid lane looking for something to jump on. Kunkka almost has that Radiance. It's going to be a late Radiance, as that is the second poorest core in the game right now. I think we're missing a core. Who's the other core? Hookshot hits the Mars. Nobody saw that. Don't worry, Clockwork. Anyway, Mars is not going to Arena Blood or Yules. They're just going to try and spear the Clare. But Clare is going to get out of there safely. Prophet is going top. This is a Mjolnir battle. Look at the Mjolnirs. I don't think anything progged that. That was really funny. Both heroes showing off their fancy new toys. Both Mjolnired up. Nobody wants to hit each other. I guess the Teferian wanted to hit each other at the end of that, but yeah, Queen of Pain nopes out of there. Anyway, Teferian, Mjolnir, working towards BKB. Ember Spirit. Kai and Sanj Blade Mill has the DD Rune working towards Sheev's Guard. As I expect we're going to see a dive here pretty quickly onto this Windrunner. Mars and Clockwork look a little bit thirsty hanging around this mid tower. Speaking of Clock, he did go Yules after Tranquils. Very interesting. I don't usually see Yules rush on Clockwork. It's likely going to have a fight down here. Prophet starts TPing and cancels it. December might just be left for dead. Yeah, the Prophet did not commit. Actually, the Mars will come in right now, find the Oracle, isolate him, kill him before he's able to get his false promise off. And now we might have a fight on our hands. The Clock will find Claire, put Claire in the cogs, Bring that Windrunner down. Huge 3-man Queen of Pain ult, but everybody's dying on the side of Radiant. This Prophet has the gold now, has the damage. And is just right-clicking things down. I expect we're going to see like 5,000 damage or something on that Fury just because of the ult. Was it used? Yeah, it was used. That's probably where a lot of their damage is coming from. Very nice Mars Arena coming out to only 3,000 to isolate that Oracle, and then I think Ember was lowering the Windrunner during that whole time, and so Clock was just really easily able to hook shot that Windrunner, put her in cogs, and bring that hero down. Anyway, finish up items. Venomancer also went Yules and had a Spirit Vessel, and Mars went Blink Yule. So 3 Yule Scepter on Dire. I'm guessing it's just for the Wombo combo. They don't want to get X. They don't want to get Torrented. You can dodge Queen of Pain with it. You can dodge Bushwhack with it. It's good mana, good sustain. But I don't see like anything too crazy that would be, you know, reason to buy 3 Yules this game. Seems a little unnecessary. Oracle, go get the deny. Come on, you just gave him 200 gold. Ah well. Chen is camping the top lane, looking for Clockwork. We'll throw out the Bushwhack, find the Clockwork. The Power Shot will come out, do a little bit of damage to him, but he has Tranquil, so we'll heal up that damage pretty quickly. Meanwhile, that position 1 Furion wants to start on Roshan. We'll go in there with his Ember Spirit. Again, working on that. I don't think there's any way that Radiant can contest this. Dire are quite a bit ahead right now in terms of that net worth. And you gotta worry about the threat of Arena. You just can't clump up. Like, you can throw spells in there, but those spells aren't gonna, you know, they're just gonna show your position. They're not gonna be enough to kill any heroes. So, very dangerous. So, Roche will be left to the Dire, who put the Aegis on Furion. Furion rocking that brand new 9-second BKB. And Windrunner is just farming the safe lane top. Queen of Pain is just gonna cut the wave bottom. Looks like. Smack. Oh no, you've been sprouted. What do you do? I just blink away. But Dire has creeps top, and this is the last outer remaining. So Queen of Pain is actually chasing Fury, and is she okay? Yeah, she's okay. I think she was going for the wisdom, but Landalis was able to. Loudendus. Alright, Loud. You're now Loud. Loud was able to get the wisdom shrine, so while forced to use that UKB and did not get the shrine, not get anything in return. Interesting build by Queen of Pain. I don't know if this is meta, but 0 Scream of Pain. How are you supposed to farm? I guess the Mjolnir is the farming item, but I don't know. Like, I guess you want to be tanky. It's like normally when I see Clops, they go like Spell Life Steal, they go Blade Mills and Dagons, and they're just like super tanky. This Mars could get a sick arena if he chooses to use it right now. We'll use it, get the 3-man. I don't know what Radiant are doing, they're just hanging out there. Without their Queen of Pain, but 3-man arena, no one dies this far. Radiant are just running out of there. As without the Fury, and Dire does not really do that much damage. Finally, they'll get a kill. Windrunner is the first to fall. 2-man Queen of Pain ult will bring these heroes down low. Ember will die. Codewing dies, I think, to a Sprout. Yeah, I think it's a Sprout. 2 for 2 thus far. Clock very low. Gets brought down by my pocket actually on the Kunkka. And now Mars getting isolated. Triple kill by Landalis. Just heroes are. It feels like the heroes that are doing the killing are just ignoring each other and going after the killable heroes. It's now a 3 for 3. No one has bought back thus far. Landalis, though, is still strong on this Fury and did die. So I guess 3 for 4 at this point, because the Aegis was popped. After that sick 3-man Mars Arena by Razin. And so he will do a little bit of damage to the tower, but decide to go top, grab the Wisdom Shrine, and begin pushing out the top tower. Oh no, the smoke play wanted to get that on Stonks there, but was unable to. Radiant are going to find a Venomancer. There is an Ember in the area, so Dire could maybe turn this. Prophet's walking over. Ember's just trying to kite, trying to buy time for his Prophet to come in. As we have TPs in now by Dire onto that stolen outpost. Windrunner forced to BKB. Oh, hook shot just misses. As we now have the Yules up by Mars, which will bring down this Oracle. So they do get a kill at the end of it. And they're going to look for more. Arena onto 2. Sick Arena once again. Finds 2. Queen of Pain jumps in. Call it a 3-man Arena if you want, but the Mars will go down. Hoodwink will die, immediately buy back. Oracle also buys back. Dire may have been enough more than they could chew. Fury trying to TP out, trying to Nightfall is brought down. Clock will go down. X brings the Ember Spirit back into the line of fire. Triple kill, Queen of Pain. Both supports buying back to bring those heroes down. That is a tide turner for sure. Or Radiant. That's what they needed to get back into this game. You're going to see this line go up pretty significantly at the end of that fight. Yeah, it doesn't account for the Oracle buying back, but significant gold swing for Radiant nonetheless. And look at that XP swing, like 9,000, 9,500-ish XP swing going their way. Lots of damage coming out from Kunkka and Quap. Radiant will pick up a tower at the end of that bloodbath as well. And bottom, I expect we're getting pretty low too. That's that catapult hitting it. But they're not gonna stick around and find out what happens when Dire respawns. They will retreat back to their side of the map, get some very critical vision out to secure their base a little bit more. They have a nice wall of vision now, so they know what's happening on their side of the river. Meanwhile, Dire they have an idea of where Radiant are because of this ward over here. But that's really the only kind of vision they have right now. They're going to need to get some more vision up on Dire. This is a weird ward spot. I think because there's like dead trees, but I'm not even sure like where this thing is. I think it's on the stairwell, but somehow that has vision of the high ground. Very interesting. Game has slowed down at the end of that. It kind of feels like Radiant has blunted the momentum, but Dire back in the swing of things. Never miss spear. What is going on with these miss spears? It's like weird because you're getting these amazing arenas off, but not the spear Yules combos, but should be like automatic, right? Like it's a guaranteed timing. Yeah, it might be a ping issue or something. Quap and Furion are far enough ahead, leading the pack for the cores. I have a smoke play by Dire. Finds Clare. They have hookshot available. Not using it thus far. Aethys comes out from the Hoodwink. 2-man Arena. Will isolate the Hoodwink and Clare. Clare's able to BKB out though. Gets out of that. That's a dieback on the Hoodwink though. For the cost of an Arena and a Veno ult. And that's probably what Dire need to... Oh no, what's going on here? Queen of Pain. They're going to hookshot. Ooh, ultimate from the Pulse Promise from Oracle. The last second purges off that hookshot stun. Otherwise, that Queen of Pain was done. She had to use BKB though, so she was actually walking back to base because she was low HP, but the Oracle managed to heal her to full, so she walks back into it. Ult comes out, hits 2. Doesn't really do that much. I think they're just trying to buy time for the Hoodwink to come up and for a boat to come off cooldown, but that's never 30 seconds. Furion will be hitting these racks, trying to crack this high ground. Oh, what the hell? What happened on the camera there? Trying to crack this high ground as the Hoodwink still has 15 seconds left. Radiant are going to deny their own racks there as the Plague Wars were killing it off. Smoke up by Dire, they run top. They want to push out top, I expect. With that Queen of Pain, BKB still on cooldown. Along with the False Promise, although False Promise is pretty short cooldown at this time. Like, the more you level it up, the lower the cooldown gets pretty significantly. I keep trying to bring up this point, but they keep fighting as soon as I do. But where's the missing support in this? Is it the... It's not the Hoodwink, not the Oracle. Is it the Mars? Anyway, Blink Arena finds two. Hoodwink getting very low. She's probably going to explode, though, as Claire tries to buy some space, forces herself into Dire with BKB to try and bring down this Furion. Furion getting very low. We're going to watch this because if this Furion dies, it's huge. Power Shot misses at the last second. Oh, no. That was such an important kill. And now the Furion just goes home, refreshes. We'll have that TP up very soon. He's coming back. And they're not going to have that focus fire to bring him down. Two-man route. It's purged off by Oracle in the back. As that Furion comes in now, full HP, full resources. Queen of Pain gets found. She's going to blink high ground. Has that BKB, has that ult, uses the ult. They want to try and bring down this Mars, getting very low, will go down. As Hoodwink charges out the Sharpshooter, but I don't think it goes anywhere. And now everybody's dying on Radiant. Kunkka goes down. Oracle gets found by the Clockwork. He will go down. Queen of Pain now is in a lot of danger. The Ember's going to run her down. We'll root her up. We'll bring her down. Mega Streak goes down. Pop instantly going to buy back as the Sharpshooter sails between those low Dire heroes. Hate to see that. But Claire is up. They're going to have the hero back. And now Venomancer is caught out of position. Has no force step to get to the low ground. It's going to be stuck high ground. We'll just fall. Ember Spirit throws out the Remnant, but missing some heroes, and they're missing their spells. Alright, does not want to commit high ground for one of these kills. As the tower does fall, double count while pushing top. At the end of that, ends up being a favored Dire. Absolutely, if they were able to pick out that Furion at the start of the fight. I mean, Furion had buyback. I think Furion had buyback, I'm not sure. But Furion, if he did have buyback, could have just bought back and come in. But that was, sick play by Claire trying to get that pickup. Just needed to land that power shot or needed a little bit extra damage from one of the teammates to bring that Furion down. Was unable to, though, and they lose the tower because of it. Roshan is available. Both teams know it's there. That's likely going to be the next point of go. As Furion TP top to try and find this Queen of Pain. Ember runs. I think Wop went into trees and blocked vision for a moment there. She did have BKB, though. They don't have any kind of BK piercing disable. But they do have really good chase, as we have an arena onto two. Queen of Pain. BKB's up, so she's unaffected by it. Hoodwink is just caught, though. Has no items to get out. Will die. Queen of Pain has that BKB run out, so she's going to skedaddle out of there onto the side. Claire, meanwhile, trying to bring down Landalos. The Glimmer, though. Was that a Glimmer? I'm not sure. Claire trying to get the pick. The Landalos once again gets away with low HP. Queen of Pain needed to support that kill attempt. Prophet's just going to TP home. Now the Queen of Pain in trouble, mega rooted by the Ember Spirit. She's able to blink high ground, though. I don't think Dire knows where she went. Just gonna TP out of there. Gets out of there. Sick blink and TP by Queen of Pain. But once again, the Windrunner was unable to bring down this Furion. And Furion, it will... Actually, might be getting gone on. Queen of Pain, I think, saw him for a second, but has no way. X? No X. Just out of range of that. Dire's coming down here now. May have been a little bit optimistic by Radiant here, as the Oracle's now going to get caught out of position. Ooh, that's going to be a huge kill. Queen of Pain tries to force them away. The Oracle does not have ultimate to save himself. He will go down and die. Immediate buyback as the Mars Arena comes down, isolates It prevents any kind, isolates that oracle, prevents any kind of counter initiation by Radiant. All right, 22k gold lead. A little bit of a gasp of air by Radiant there at the 30-minute mark, but it's 95% favored for Dire at this time. Neither team has what I would call a hard carry. I don't consider Prophet a hard carry, just because he doesn't have any abilities that give him amp damage or anything like that. He's really like reliant on having an awesome net worth advantage, kind of like the Alchemist. Although the Alchemist has those kind of carry abilities with like BAT reduction and attack speed and regen and whatever. Ember Spirit can carry games, although it's not really a traditional carry. You usually play this here pretty kitey. Queen of Pain is going to be found, isolated, Mars Arena'd. She has the BKB, will use it, blinks. Oh my goodness, what happened there? Queen of Pain BKB'd and blinked in place. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe she wanted to turn to Satanic? She's probably trying to click a few too many buttons. Hoodwink's gonna find Furion down here. I think Hoodwink just dies from this though. You can't bring down this hero by yourself. You're gonna need the Windrunner with you. But that's a dieback Queen of Pain. Doesn't have buyback for another 3 minutes. Let's look at buybacks at this time because that's more important than net worth. Dire will work on this second set of racks and likely just get it unopposed. I don't expect Radiant to fight unless they go in aggressively. Alright, they're going to try and bring down the Ember Spirit. Ember Spirit gets Galimbered up once again though. We'll be able to get out of there. As we have a fight, boat comes out. But they're lacking damage here. Clock getting very low. Clock actually goes down. Yeah, so Claire was able to get out of there with the false promise. Getting very low, but they're able to pick off that clockwork. He does a buyback. Ember, nice prediction on the Hoodwink. The only patch of trees which within the 30-mile radius. It might have been a little bit obvious there, but excellent play by Ember Spirit. Finds the Hoodwink. Kills that damn squirrel and forces Bitterchen to buy back. Bitterchen immediately goes back to the picket where she died. And will be throwing out spells onto this Nature's Prophet. Dire working on this bottom racks. They want the megas. Queen of Pain 25 seconds before she comes up. There's no BKB or boat on Kunkka, so not a hero you really want to be fighting on right now. Nice Blink Arena by Mars. Will find the Oracle and Windrunner. Jump in by Ember Spirit. They have the damage. They'll bring down Windrunner. They'll bring down Oracle. No buybacks on either of those heroes. That will be mega creeps. Queen of Pain is coming up though, along with boat. So they might have a little bit left in the tank here. As Radiant want to fight this out to the bitter end. Mars will blink forward, get the spear off on Hoodwink. Pop will immediately jump on him. Kunkka throws in the boats, but is just getting right-clicked by the Nature's Prophet. Nowhere to go. He dies, has buyback, holding on to it for the time being. As the Queen of Pain trying to bring down this Mars. Mars will get away though. Very low HP. Queen of Pain dies. No buyback. That's the last of their damage. This Kunkka did buyback. Uses BKB. But that's it for Team Clare. They will lose the second game. So that ends up being a 1-for-1 this game. Very well played by both teams. Excellent Dota today. Non-stop talking for like 3 minutes there. Holy moly. Drink of water. Yeah, what a game. I mean, felt like just a slow decline that game. There was a moment there at the 30-minute mark where Radiant did get that one fight after supports bought back. Like they did mop up that Furion in the bottom lane. And were able to pick off the rest of his team there, but afterwards they really didn't lose any heroes. Dire consolidated up and won that game pretty handily. Let's look at the scoreboard real quick. Standout performances, I'd say, are Laudendus. Furion is always super annoying hero to have to deal with. They had the Windrunner to try and bring them down. And she got close to it, very close. That missed power shot felt like such a backbreaker. Unable to secure that kill at the like around the 40-minute mark. And yeah, just fearing surviving, kept surviving, was able to push towers, go back to base, heal up, push towers. Even though his team doesn't really have like great push other than the Venomancer, just you're able to win fights, killed those heroes. Excellent arenas by Mars too, to bring down those annoying Hoodwink and Oracle backlining heroes. And it really felt like Dire just had all the initiative that game. Radiant never really found like they found their footing and were able to make individual plays that game. Like Oracle's not really a hero you do aggressively on unless you're like stomping. Hoodwink you can play aggressively on, but it's just like it's so scary because if the Venomancer ever presses your buttons on your Hoodwink, you just die. If Clockwork or Mars ever go on you, you just die. Unless your Oracle's nearby, so you have to play together. If you're playing together, it's not really a gank at that point. But yeah, that's game two. Best of two ends up 1-1. Two very strong teams. You're likely going to see these teams end up in the playoffs. So their updated scores after this series are 4-2, 4-2. Anyway, fun one to cast. I've been Munchlef. Thanks to all the thousands of people watching live out there for joining me tonight as we did this quick impromptu stream. I've been Munchlef. This has been the Seal Dota League. And thanks for tuning in. See you later.